Hello and welcome. Welcome back. Is that you? Because it's me. I want your burger. And I am super excited to be bringing you this first episode of Pokemon Lazy Green. So this ROM hack here was made by someone who goes by the name Senior Mankey. I downloaded this on Poke Harbor, and I am playing it on an emulator. So for any of you interested in playing these games for yourself, it's very within your means to do so if you have a smartphone and you have some kind of app store where you can find an emulator that works for you. So Pokemon Lazy Green version has some features for individuals who just want a simplified experience. This is a very gratifying ROM hack. I will say, I'm having a lot of fun playing this. As you can see here, we got stacks of potions, stacks of rare candies. This game is not about the grind. And oh yeah, did I mention there's a 5% overall chance for a shiny to appear in the wild? So, of course, I've got to add a little bit of challenge. That's where that tracker up in the top right is going to keep us updated on how many we've actually collected as we go along on our adventure. So, unfortunately, the starter is basically a 0% chance of being a shiny, but I will be able to catch all three later on in the game. Not only are there increased shiny odds and lowered market prices for Pokeballs and potions, but there are NPCs along the way that can help you change the settings of the game to add challenge if that's your thing. But the purpose of this playthrough for me is just to catch all 151 shinies, complete the Kanto Dex, and maybe try challenge mode later. Okay, so who is the starter Pokemon? Is it Squirtle? Is it Charmander? No, it's actually number 001 Bulbasaur. He's not going to add that first digit to my tracker just yet, but this is a necessary step. Okay, so we're going to name Dino. Dino's going to help us out for just a little bit, but I'm not going to use him against Brock. That would just be too easy. As a matter of fact, it would be so incredibly easy, because that is the namesake of Pokemon Lazy Green. Everything is kind of easy. It's just a cozy experience. There's less grinding. There is less, fretting about money. I don't even need to battle some of these trainers. I can just walk around them if I don't feel like battling them. I don't need them for experience or money. You can keep your Pokebucks. To have 100 potions very early game and 420 rare candies in your computer before you even leave mom's house, it's just an effortless gameplay experience. Because you can grow so many levels so quickly, the default is set to level caps on, but one of those NPCs that I mentioned earlier can offer to turn that setting off for you if that's what you prefer. That would make it super easy. But, it's not too hard as is. So we're just going to get Oak's parcel and get the ball rolling on catching these shinies, alright? Shortly after that, I find myself just outside of Viridian City where I'm going to encounter the first shiny and add it to my team. This is a Mankey. It is a level 2 Mankey, but not for long. It's going to be my level 2 Mankey, and yes, it is number 1, first one on the tracker. I've got about 100 Pokeballs in my bag, and I'm going to add that one to the team. Great. No trouble at all. Mankey, light and agile on its feet, ferocious and temperate. When angered, it flies into an uncontrollable frenzy, and it just happens to be green. Just a little bit green. Is that on purpose? I don't know. Tell me what you think of these shinies. I think some of them you're gonna like. So, with a 5% shiny encounter rate, that means I'm going to be encountering many shiny Pidgeys. Not just on this route, but on the next route, and the next route. So, which one is the best? Well, I'm no expert, but Pokemon Lazy Green does add the EVs and the IVs to the Pokemon summary page. From there, you can easily tell if it's graded A plus or a S. So S tier would obviously be amazing, and S tier shiny, but I'm just kind of in it for the sport of catching all 151. It just depends on how you like to play, and that's the nice thing about this version. In the beginning, especially, I will just catch a few of each and check on them while I'm managing the box in the computer. So I will need all the shinies to fill up the team because, as you'll see here, this guy who offers me some performance enhancing, he's gonna have a full team of level 14 Pokemon. And look, I gotta say, for all of the wild shiny Pokemon running around, all of them that I'm catching, I'm very surprised that basically none of the trainers I've encountered thus far have had one shiny on their lineup. It's kind of weird. It doesn't make sense. Are they just not patient enough? Or are they just like that guy from Pokemon Crystal who tried to convince us that shinies weren't any more special than normal forms? Well, if you watched that video, you can tell that I didn't quite agree. I thought it was very gratifying, but that's not the focus of Pokemon Lazy Green, I guess. In fact, you're not going to find any differences in the lineups of the gym leaders. There's no insane level curve either. It's just about a simple gameplay experience. In fact, by the time I face the rival again, he's still only got 2 Pokemon on his team, and I've got everyone at a level 14 cap. So the cap is based off the next lowest level ace, I believe. So that means it was basing it off of Brock's level 14 Onix. Because I think Onix and Geodude will both be level 14, if I'm not mistaken. So we're just going to trek through the forest here, still keeping our eyes peeled for any shinies. And we're basically squashing any bug catcher that we encounter, just to collect some Pokebucks. And then we start getting Metapod, Caterpie, Weedle, Kakuna, all of them. And of course, last but not least, we got the Pikachu. Pikachu is by far the hardest to encounter in Viridian Forest. So as you may already know, bug Pokemon grow pretty quickly. That is to say, they level up pretty quickly. And we've even got all of this rare candy. So before we go and face Brock, I'm just going to go ahead and get all of the shinies I can out of all of the evolutionary lines from Viridian Forest. There's not a whole lot. Unfortunately, Pidgey, I can't evolve Pidgey just yet because of that level cap. You have to keep that in mind. Give me a break. Where I deserve one, okay? There's some things... I mean, I guess I could turn the setting off, but I don't want the battles to be too easy, you know. So anyway, we're here in Pewter City. It's time to face Brock and his camper friend. Neither of them are really going to stand a chance because even with some weaker Pokemon on my team, they're all level 14. And I outnumber them greatly. Let's not forget, I've got potions, potions, potions. And here we go. Here's to getting that first badge. Geodude actually comes out at level 12, so I did misremember here. That just means that the level cap I referenced earlier is based off of Brock's Onix. Either way, we are going to sweep this gym with the help of our Mankey named Punch. And we're going to increase that level cap so I can start evolving some of these shinies. Then I got to thinking about all of the multiple shinies I've got stored in Bill's storage. And would it be possible for me to build a living Shinydex? I've never done that before. Yeah, maybe today was the day that I do that, finally. You know, ironic how a game named Lazy Green would make me feel so motivated to do something. I think as long as Wild Eevee appears somewhere, it'll be possible for me to get that full 150 Shinydex. Professor Oak is going to be so proud of me. Anyway, just outside of Mount Moon, I'm going to encounter a shiny Jigglypuff, a shiny Spearow, hey, I like your wings, a Nidoran female, and a Nidoran male. We've got everything leading up until the entrance of Mount Moon. So upon entering Mount Moon, I made it my mission to encounter that shiny Zubat, a Paris, a Geodude, and a Clefairy. Now, I had no concerns about encountering a shiny Zubat whatsoever. If you know anything about Pokemon games and caves, especially in generations where Zubat is prominent, you're going to find plenty of them. And as a matter of fact, just the second counter reveals that we are correct about that. So we're going to add that to the Shinydex. Shortly after, we're going to find a Paris, a Geodude, who, since you look like a cheese ball with arms, what else can we nickname you? Anyway, there's that Clefairy. Clefairy was by far the toughest to encounter. Now, while you have an overall 5% chance to encounter a shiny, you still have to contend with the fact that a rare Pokemon is still going to be a rare Pokemon. It's got a lower encounter rate for its area. So, still only took about 45 minutes to get that Clefairy alone. So we're just gonna trek on to Cerulean City and we're going to raise our level cap so we can prepare for a battle with Misty. Now, before we will check to the west of Cerulean City and grab a shiny Sandshrew and an Ekans, and we are going to heal up at the Pokemon Center and kind of check out what we've got going on in the box. This is kind of your first glimpse at everything I've caught so far. These are all the shinies, that is. And I'm just going to get them organized and compare their stats, right? So you can see here, all of the Paris that I caught, only one was really kind of worth sneezing at. The rest were like D's and F's. Anyway, just north of Cerulean, we've got a few more shinies we can catch. So first things first, I'm gonna knock out the rival and get him out of the way. I'm checking out some of the stats here on Pikachu, and I'm really considering using these performance enhancing items that I got from that trainer early on, Gustav. I'm gonna use some magic juice on Pikachu. I was a little bit confused here because it did say that the base special attack fell. However, it looks to me as if it went up by 1 point. I'm not sure if I completely understand what these are for or if I'm just misreading something. Anyway, battle with Misty. Gotta say, a little bit easy with that Pikachu. Can't go wrong. I think there's no other option for first gen unless you chose Bulbasaur at the beginning. Unfortunately, Bulbasaur has been in the box because it's not a shiny, and we've got others to catch and evolve and fill that dex with. So we evolve to Eradicate. Shortly after beating Misty, our level cap is increased. And we go on to catch an Abra, an Oddish, and a Bellsprout just to the north of town. And south of Cerulean, there are also Meowth that appear. So we're going to have to catch that one too. Okay, so now that I caught all of the shinies surrounding Cerulean City, I'm going to head to Vermilion City. And first things first, talk to that fishing guru, get the old rod, and fish right outside the door. We need a shiny Magikarp, of course. How else are we going to get a shiny Gyarados? So Fish Stick lives again. Now that Fish Stick is comfortably living inside the PC, we can board the SSN on the ultimate mission of getting cut. We need that so we can get into the Vermilion City gym. Just outside the captain's cabin, I run into my rival Hot Dog once again, and he challenges me to a battle. So it's a 6 versus 4 situation here, and I'm capped out at level 20. Once I beat my rival, that level cap will raise to 24, and that's going to give me the opportunity to raise my Sandshrew, Sanders, to level 23 and evolve into a Sandslash before we even hit the dock. And at this point, I think it's time to not only wave goodbye to the SSN, but wave goodbye to you. Safe travels, and I'll see you shortly for the next installment. Bye.